The reason that we don't deserve to be in the presence of the Lord, or that we can't be in the presence of the Lord without being changed to a different form, is that we are knives to hemophiliac. Now, I know you can't compare the likeness of God to anybody, right? But we are, we, okay, if you were made out of flesh, right? And I know nobody's here, but I know later on, years from now, somebody's going to click on this and be like, this is the reason. If you were made out of flesh, hypothetically speaking, and everybody else is made out of knives, they would have to stay away from you. You would do your best to stay away from them. Like, you would not invite a knife next to you. Or, like, you would not live with a loaded gun. You know what I'm saying? It's not because we don't need to use knives. You know what I'm saying? It's just because me and you can't be in the same presence at the same time. Bless your holy name. So it's like this. No one fully knows why we don't deserve to be in the presence of the Lord, but it's because we can't. And get this. Cain's sacrifice wasn't acceptable because the acceptable sacrifice was to slay a lamb. Right? The acceptable sacrifice was to slay a lamb because Jesus would later on be the lamb. There's a lot of things in Maccabees, there's a lot of things in Jubilee, but I stick to the Bible because that is the okay version of what the Lord wants us to learn. And so what I wanted to let you know was Cain was lazy. That was a lazy sacrifice. He knew deep down in his heart, but the devil whispered to him. Sin was at his door. We all know that the devil brought sin into this world, so that was the devil's whispers. And so the problem with Cain's sacrifice was that it was a lazy sacrifice, was that it wasn't considered, was that he listened to the whispers of inadequacy. Who don't like fruit? But that wasn't what God wanted you to do. God wanted you to sacrifice a lamb. And they've been doing that forever since Jesus came, since before Jesus came. That's not what he asked you to do. What he asked you to do is what he asked you to do. If I go to McDonald's, right, and I ask for a McChicken, and I look in my bag and I get a rock, is that what I ordered? No. If I have the option to order whatever I want, right, and then I specifically choose this order, and I don't get what I want, you know what I'm saying? You understand where I'm going here? I didn't get this is not what I wanted. This is not what I needed. This is not what I asked for. This is not acceptable. It's not because I don't like McDonald's. I love McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what I ordered. That's not what I said. And since I'm God, I make the rules. Thank you so much. Since I'm God, I make the rules. I just wanted to come on here quickly and say something really quickly about Cain and Abel, the acceptable sacrifice, and why we kind of can't be in the presence of the Lord without shifting into a different form, into a blameless, righteous form, being covered in the blood of Jesus. Hello. Because we are physical knives to God, who is like a hemophiliac. I'm not going to allow the presence of knives around me when I know that knives could possibly kill me. If a knife gets in my presence, if I bleed, I'm never going to stop bleeding. If I let sin into my kingdom, it's never going to go away. If I allow sin in there, if I just allow you to ascend because you thought you did something good, Cain, you didn't give me the acceptable sacrifice. And this is before Jesus. Now Jesus is the acceptable sacrifice. And we can be covered in his blood. And not hypothetically speaking. For real. This is not a hypothetical. This is real. So, y'all, thank you for stopping by. I hope that you see the full live. This is only supposed to be 5 minutes. I gotta go back to what I'm doing as a mommy. Toodaloo. Ciao.